Alright, sure. The S23 Ultra is the most feature-packed smartphone. It's got super performance, brilliant battery, and it's got the greatest set of cameras in the Android world. But let's get real. What if you actually owned the S23 Ultra? There are a few things that I noticed, and the first one has to do with design. At first, it's going to feel beautiful every time you pick it up. You love how the matte glass feels in your hand. The thicker edges will give you a more comfortable feel. The volume and the power buttons are also slightly broader, and that click is so much more satisfying now. I mean, imagine the number of times you press that power button throughout the day. However, if you're like me, you are going to fear scratches and scuff marks, despite the fact that it offers the best scratch, shatter, water, and dust resistance. And so naturally, you're going to want to protect it. But as soon as you put on that case, all that good stuff, it goes away in a snap. Though I have to admit that with a case, the grip does become even better and more confident. But even without it, there are a few quirks. First, it is slippery. It slides as easily into your pocket as it slides off your lap. And so just be a bit careful. Second, you're not going to be able to use it without rocking it on a flat surface. And third, the volume buttons, they do feel a little hard to reach owing to their placement. Lastly, you bought a big phone for a reason, but using it with one hand shouldn't be one of them. I mean, I've got first-hand experience and I'm a living witness to testify to that. It's a fairly large device and it doesn't shy away from that. Now, one of the things that really matters is how long it can survive on a full charge. And here's what I noticed. With my everyday use, I was getting an easy 7 to 9 hours of screen on time every time. And what that means is if you don't do much of gaming, camera, or use a lot of 5G, this phone will last you about 1.5 days on a full charge. Although, I did notice on days I was outdoors, mostly on 5G and used quite a bit of camera, I did get less than 6 hours. But again, that's normal given my use and outdoor temperature for a device that's this powerful. Oh, and by the way, I did note down the charging time it took for different charging speeds, just for fun. And interestingly, a 45-watt charger is not a whole lot faster than a 25-watt charger. And this is when the S23 Ultra supports 45-watt peak charging. Also, feel free to activate Protect Battery feature if you plan on using this phone for years to come, because it's just going to keep the long-term health of your battery in check. I will try and do a more detailed battery drain test on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, and if you want to catch that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now, all this battery improvement is not just because of a more power efficient chip, but also the display. See, the display sucks most of your phone's battery, but this time the S23 uses very energy efficient materials and it uses LTPO3 tech, which consumes less power. But man, you're going to love this display. It's an A+ display and the best you can find in the entire smartphone market. Even in bright daylight, outdoors, you'll love how the screen looks and almost take a second to appreciate just how bright it is. But I do want to address one thing. People have been talking about the iPhone 14 Pro series having 2000 nits of brightness, making it the brightest display. But that's the brightest display, not necessarily the best. Honestly and personally, to me, the S23 Ultra's display undoubtedly looks superior overall. Just better color calibration, better color temperature, and for some reason, it just feels crisper. And now, coming to the next thing I noticed was how that crazy performance reflects on almost everything I do on the phone. For example, the fingerprint unlocking is ridiculously responsive and visibly faster than the S22 Ultra. Even the face unlock works very fast. And it's the little things you do, like the time it takes from opening the camera to taking a photo and then sharing it with someone. Or even the time it takes to export a vertical video that you put together for Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. And guys, all of this performance is not just because of that high-performance chip, but the fact that it uses faster storage and faster RAM. Also, one really important thing I noticed was that the Galaxy S23 Ultra does not heat up as compared to how the S22 Ultra did. Not when you're gaming, not when you're charging it, or while using the camera. And this is because it uses a 2.7 times larger vapor chamber, which dissipates heat at a faster rate. I mean, it may get warm, but not hot or unpleasant. Also, I haven't even started talking about what this new chip can let you do in the camera department. Let's talk about that. Now, if you want to look at the specs, it's all here, you can pause and read through. But I'm more excited to share the picture quality with you. First, I noticed the quality of selfies it spits out is amazing. The color tones, the texture, the level of detailing, it's all so apt. And this is true despite the fact that they moved from a 40 megapixel to a 12 megapixel this time. Even in low light, the pictures are not grainy. And see, that's the thing, selfies inside restaurants or clubs where the lighting is dim usually sucks, but the S23 Ultra really changes that. And one of the main reasons for this is that they've also increased the focusing speed of the front camera by 60%. This low light performance is also applicable to their primary or rear facing cameras. So these are pictures I took in significantly low light areas, and they're so much better than what we saw last year with the S22 Ultra. The noise is actually being reduced by AI, the bigger sensor allows for more light, and all of this works beautifully to capture clean, low-light photos. I could notice the same improvement in videos as well. Look at this video comparison with the iPhone 14 Pro. The improvement in low-light videos on the S23 Ultra is undeniable. The 2x improvement in optical image stabilization, AI noise reduction, VDIS, and the fact that more light enters into the sensor, all of this leads to this impressive low-light video footage. And I really think it's a big flex. It's probably one of the first smartphones to take usable, good, and worth looking at photos in low light. Otherwise, they've always been a bit grainy and blurry. Next, that 200 megapixel camera is also no joke. I noticed immense details, and you could literally zoom in to crazy levels and still not lose quality or sharpness. I'll leave these photos for you to download and better evaluate the details for yourself. Now guys, just a quick note that the camera is by default set to 12 megapixel, and if you want to shoot at 200 megapixel, you'll have to switch to that mode. By the way, Samsung has added a new expert RAW mode, which you can use to take raw photos in 50 megapixel. Obviously, these files are going to be heavy given they contain a lot of information, but here's a quick snapshot comparing the file sizes of photos shot in different modes just for your reference. And so if you're going to be taking a lot of 50 megapixel raw photos or 200 megapixel photos, just make sure you get a phone with pretty good storage. But besides the stunning low light performance, the selfies, and the detailed 200 megapixel photos, the S23 Ultra takes some of the best regular photos as well. I mean, they've greatly improved the color tonality and they've kept it more on the natural side. Even portrait photos look great. The edge detection is simply the best in the industry, and you can see just how good all of this looks. The new chip has also improved the quality of photos taken using zoom lenses, be it 3x zoom or the 10x zoom. Photos look incredible. But I'm not going to get too much into it because I presume not a lot of you are going to be using this mode anyway. And guys, feel free to download these photos and videos from the link in the description and evaluate the quality for yourself. Now guys, I do want to address one thing that many people have been talking about, which is the shutter lag as compared to the iPhone 14 Pro series. But frankly, in my tests, that shutter lag is hardly something that I could register. I mean, you could see it for yourself in front of you. There's insignificant lag in between taking photos. Okay, now let me talk about the software, and I'll be as quick as possible because otherwise this could be a series of 10 videos just trying to cover that. But honestly, the Galaxy S23 Ultra is the most feature-packed smartphone that you can find in the market right now. First, you get Samsung DeX, so connect your phone to an external monitor using just one cable and you get a more PC-like experience, and you can connect a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and work much easily. You can set up routines which turn on and off basis time or location or however you've set it, and you can decide which apps and which people can or cannot reach out to you. Then obviously there's the S Pen, which comes inbuilt into the phone for no extra cost, and it obviously is the best writing experience on a smartphone on the entire planet. There's also a screen recording functionality, which of course allows you to record your screen, but you can also turn on your front camera and record yourself, and also use the S Pen to annotate, which is amazing. You can also long press on a subject in a photo or even in a video and just copy it or save it into your gallery. There are plenty photo editing options like photo remaster and object remover and reflections remover to help repair photos. Unlike the iPhone, you also get manual controls for your photos and videos, and now it's even available for the front-facing camera. You can access multiple themes from within settings and choose from amongst thousands of themes to make your phone look different every day. And you also get access to good lock modules that allow you to customize and personalize your phone preferences to an insane level of detail. But you know guys, if you want to know what's new in One UI 5.1 that's on the S23 Ultra, or if you want to know more features about the S23 Ultra in general, if you want to know how you can customize or personalize your Galaxy smartphone, how you can use your S Pen to do multiple things, man, I've done all of those videos and I leave them here on the top right corner. And by the way, I keep putting this content on the channel very frequently. And if you're interested in that, that would be a great reason for you to subscribe. Alright, so final thoughts. This is inexpensive, but also the best Android smartphone you can own right now. If you're wondering whether to get the S23 Ultra or the S22 Ultra, I would say stretch out and try to get the S23 Ultra because the performance, battery, and the camera gains are all very significant. And plus you will get one whole extra year of Android upgrade. On the other hand, if you're contemplating whether to upgrade from your current Android smartphone to either the S23 Ultra or the iPhone 14 Pro, I highly suggest that you watch this video right here. That would really help you make that decision. And just in case, if you're thinking whether to upgrade your S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra, I mean, if you've got the money and you don't mind spending it, then absolutely, it's still an upgrade. Alright, and that's pretty much it guys. This was my experience of using the S23 Ultra and I really wanted to share all these minute little things that really play out in your everyday use with the phone. I hope this was really helpful. If you guys have any questions about the phone, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And guys, as I said, I will leave links to, download all of the photos and video samples. So if you're interested, definitely go through that. Alright, thanks for watching guys. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification icon and mark all. Really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one.